Co-creation isn't always a smooth journey, but there are lots of ways to enable a less bumpy ride. These short animations will show different issues you may encounter on the co-creation road and prompt reflection on the ways they can be overcome. In these animations, you'll see Elsie, a citizen, Astrid, a public service worker, Pedro, a public service manager, Zoe, a policymaker, and the Minister, a politician, on their co-creation journey and some of the challenges they face. Here, we are going to look at 2 scenarios relating to how you can catalyse co-creation in your service. After each scenario, there'll be some questions for you to reflect on and discuss with your fellow co-creators.
I just don't understand it. I've emailed over 300 people and no one is signing up for our co-creation event.
Oh, but did you send it from the municipality's newsletter account?
Of course.
Well, I'm not surprised. My system just labels it spam. Spam, 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 spam.
Oh dear. We need to think of new ways to reach people other than sending out emails.
I could talk to my family and neighbours about it. I know tons of people.
That's wonderful. We could train you to become a community champion, and you could be upskilled to engage and empower people in your community.
I just meant I'd have a chat with people about it and let them know about the event. Do I really need training for that?
When citizens aren't engaging with services, we sometimes position them as hard to reach, but perhaps it is service providers who are hard to reach. We tend to expect people to engage on our terms. Co-creation asks us to think differently about this. Think about the animation and reflect on these questions. Current practice. How do you currently communicate and engage with citizens? What is working about this and what isn't? Why do you think this is? Building community. What spaces, online and offline, would you find citizens who you would like to reach? How can you connect into these spaces and reach out to people where they already are? How can you create spaces that connect different people together to build relationships? Proactive inclusion. What barriers exist to people engaging with your service? These could be barriers you are inadvertently creating or wider systemic ones. How can you remove these barriers and actively include citizens in your work?
Now, we need to put together a risk register for this co-creation project for the Minister to approve before we can go ahead. What are the key risks and how will we make sure they don't happen?
We might not get lots of people involved, and if we don't hit our key performance indicators, it won't be seen as a success. So maybe we could use social media to go viral.
Yes, but what if we get negative comments? I would need to approve comments and posts before they go live on the page.
Yes, good point, Pedro. It also might be that people might want things that we can't deliver.
Yes, well, we can mitigate that by giving them a limited number of options that we vetted beforehand.
And it might be that people's ideas aren't good enough.
Exactly. So we will come up with good ideas beforehand and get them to vote on them. That way, we know the project will be a success.
I'm not sure this is really co-creation, is it?
Co-creation requires services to think about risk in a different way and relinquish some of the power and control that they are used to having over processes. Rather than see failure as an endpoint, co-creation asks us to embrace the elements that don't work as part of the learning journey. Think about the animation and reflect on these questions. Risk aversion. How risk averse are you as an individual and the organisation or service you work for? What are the underlying causes of risk aversion in public services and servants? And what could help services to think differently about how they manage risk? Learning and evolving. What are the factors that might stifle open and honest debate in your workplace? And how can these be overcome? How can you create a culture within your team or service that sees failures as an opportunity to learn? Reflective practice. What current opportunities exist in your service for you to reflect on the current state of play and discuss how to move forward? How can reflection be used in co-creation projects to support ongoing learning and co-evaluation with citizens and stakeholders?